Good afternoon, just everybody, or good morning, good evening, whenever you are seeing this video. Thought I would pop on and see how did you survive the great Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp outage. Did you survive it? Did you even realize? Or did you freak out? So for those of you that don't know me, I am Jen Sheraton. I am an entrepreneur, a network marketer, and a grounded FIFO worker. And I woke up this morning to find that the social media platforms weren't working. They're a bit glitchy on my phone. I'm thinking, that's a bit weird. Jump into the news sites and see the headlines. But for me, it didn't really feel that huge because the majority of it was actually while we were asleep. So lucky of us down here in Australia that it really didn't affect me too much. It was a bit frustrating because, I like to get on, see how, different things, especially my ads manager, I like to get on, see, what's happened overnight, see what messages have come through from, people over in the other part of the world, because that's generally what happens, end up with quite a few messages first thing in the morning. But I had to change my tact. And it was actually not a bad thing. I had a coffee. And I've actually did a bit of work on some content, just writing some posts and things that I've been meaning to do that, it didn't need me to be on social media. I could just type them in Word. So it didn't feel really like, a big imposition. And it just really showed to me how important it is that we have our email lists. Like, it's so super important, whether it's an email or a phone list, because if you're relying on all your customer information to be in social media, and especially if it's in, one platform, then when something like this happens, how are you going to get in contact with your people? And that's why I'm really glad that I actually have email lists already on the go. And this is something that I try to teach my team is, making sure that we store our customers and our followers' information somewhere separate and have a way of generating that information that's not super reliant, especially on one platform. If you're just concentrating, say, on Facebook alone and not spreading yourself around, then, you do run the risk of losing your presence altogether. If you're spreading yourself into different social media platforms, at least if the others don't go down. So, for example, today, TikTok was still going. Twitter, LinkedIn, they were still all running. I know some people switched over to those platforms for a bit and did a bit of work in those because they weren't affected. Yes, okay, you got to do different content for different platforms, but it might be a good time to actually have a bit of a think about where you're spreading everything around. And we know that Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. So when something happened like it did today, and not that I even understand what went on, it affected all of their platforms. So if you've got, a presence in other platforms, at least, you're not going to lose everything. But having an email list or a phone list is super, super important. Can't stress that enough. Because if you don't have any followers or contacts and say, one day Facebook disappears, how will they ever find you again? How will you find them? So it's just something to have a bit of a think about if you're using social media like I do for your business, that making sure that you've got some security about what, who you've got as customers. And at least with an email list, it's something that you own and that, you've got control over. And so I personally, it's just like, it's a glitch, it's an outage. I pivot and do something else. And that's what we need to learn to be as well, is being resilient and being able just to pivot and do something else when things like this happen that are out of our control. None of us had control of what went on this morning or yesterday, last night, depending where you are. So if you're really interested in learning how to maybe, future-proof your business, I have a 10-day email series that shows you how I got started and can give you some really great tips on what you need to do to future-proof your business. So there's a link in the description here, so go to www.jensheraton.com/products, register for free. So it's a free 10-day email series, so you'll get one email a day. You can always follow me over on Jen Sheraton. I give you lots more information over there, every day about how to grow your business online using social media. And, let's just, have a look at how we're looking after our business and future-proofing ourselves. I think that's super important after today. So I hope that's been of real help. You know, if you want some more help, please drop me a comment below, you know, say help me, and we'll get in contact. Otherwise, go through to my website and register for the 10 email series, because it really will help you. They're 10 minutes a day for 10 days. Don't take much time. So I hope you've all survived and you're doing well and everything's back to normal, and I'm going to talk to you all really, really soon. See ya.